What's up, everybody? G here, VP of Content, fitnessinformant.com. Here today for another review. Today we're looking at Ruthless from Iron Brothers. This is a brand that we've actually been fans of here for a long time. We just recently did their Prodigy, and now we are doing their Ruthless. This is their new pre-workout. We really enjoyed it. Either way, stay tuned. We'll let you know it worked for us. Let's go. So to start this profile off, just want to let you know we are going by the 2-scoop dosage. It's a 1-2 scooper. We go by the 2-scooper here, full dosage. Starting off, Ruthless starts us off with 7 grams of citrulline malate at a 2-to-1 ratio. Citrulline converts to arginine, which helps with pumps as well as overall endurance, performance. And you get 7 grams in here, which is a solid dose. So nothing wrong there. Moving on, very proven ingredient. We have beta-alanine at 3.2 grams. Beta-alanine, one of the most common ingredients in pre-workouts. We all know it, 3.2 grams. This helps buffer lactic acid, which can help with endurance. You do take it over a longer time. The longer you use it, the better it becomes. 3.2 grams is the clinical dose, and that's nice to see in here. Next up, we have a rather interesting ingredient. We have pomegranate extract. This isn't too common in pre-workouts or stim-free pre-workouts. However, it is gaining a little bit in popularity. It's an antioxidant, can help with blood pressure. You're going to see it a lot more other products at 1 gram. It is actually dosed pretty well in Ruthless. So moving on, we have taurine at 1 gram. Taurine can help with blood flow and also has a lot of hydration benefits, can help with performance. It's a great ingredient. At 1 gram, it's dosed well, anywhere from 1 to 2. We know people that actually take 4 grams before they work out. So, good ingredient there, dosed well, can't go wrong with it. Moving on, we have acetyl L-carnitine. Carnitine at 1 gram. This is a form of carnitine. It's actually my favorite form of carnitine. This one can actually cross the blood-brain barrier very well, and it can actually help with focus. You see in a lot of nootropics as well as fat burners, and it's still, I just said it, I'm going to say it again, it's my favorite form of carnitine. At 1 gram, it is dosed well. Anywhere from 750 milligrams to 1.5 grams is what we're looking for there. Next up, we have another one of my favorite ingredients in the world. Ryan's going to kill me, but tyrosine at 1 gram. Tyrosine converts to dopamine, or a precursor to dopamine, and it can help with focus, especially in stressful situations. At 1 gram, it's dosed well. Anywhere from 750 milligrams upwards is good. You can even go higher on tyrosine, but 1 gram is a solid start. So that's nice to see. Next up, we have agmatine sulfate at 750 milligrams. This is a metabolite of arginine, and it may help with pumps. It has a lot of other benefits as well. For those of you who don't know, you can actually take agmatine before you sleep. I've actually used it, and it's actually helped me with sleep. Going off on a tangent there, but either way, it's in here, 750 milligrams. We like to see this at 1 gram or higher, although 500 milligrams can actually work as well. I've used doses at low and seen results, so 750 milligrams, not bad. Next up, we have choline bitartrate at 500 milligrams. This is a form of choline. Choline converts acetylcholine in the brain, which is a neurotransmitter, can help with focus. It's a nootropic ingredient. At 500 milligrams, it's on the lower side, and honestly, choline bitartrate isn't really a good form of choline. We like to see either alpha-GPC or better yet, CDP choline. Seems to work a little bit faster. Choline bitartrate does not cross the blood-brain barrier very well. It's not a bad ingredient at higher doses, but 500 milligrams is quite low. Either way, not too bad there. You're probably gonna not even need it with the tyrosine as well as the acetyl-carnitine dose. Moving on, we have everybody's favorite ingredient, caffeine anhydrous at 240 milligrams. I don't think I need to go over caffeine. Caffeine, 240 milligrams. This is a solid amount. Everybody's tolerance varies to caffeine. I have a high tolerance. 240 is actually what I would deem to be a very solid, good dose. It's not overpowering. It should give you energy. If you don't get energy off of 240 milligrams of caffeine, you may need to get off of caffeine for a little bit to reset your tolerance, but you do you. Next up, we have another source of caffeine, which is dicaffeine malate at 200 milligrams. So this is actually 75% caffeine. So you're getting extra 150 milligrams of caffeine just in time release setting. So it gets absorbed a little bit later and over a slower period of time. So it's going to help prevent a crash. So you have a lot more caffeine than just 240 milligrams. If you were thinking that was low, then this just proves you wrong. Next up, we have citrus extract, which is also synephrine at 100 milligrams. Synephrine is a good ingredient, especially when paired with caffeine. It can aid with fat loss as well as energy. It's kind of like a very mild, very mild beta agonist, very safe. 100 milligrams is dosed well in here. And the final 2 ingredients in here are black pepper extract at 10 milligrams. This can help with the absorption of some ingredients. I don't know about any studies with these particular ingredients, but 10 milligrams dosed well. And finally, we have tooth club moss. This is at 100 micrograms. This is a huperzine. It's a source of huperzine, which prevents acetylcholine from being broken down in the brain. It's good for focus. and at 100 micrograms is dosed well in here. So overall, the profile is actually very well rounded. It kind of hits all your bases: focus, endurance, pumps, energy, what you really want. It's going to perform on that. Some ingredients we would like to see either higher, perhaps other forms, but for the most part, overall, the ingredients are dosed well. Some nitpicky things that we could poke at, but nothing too bad. And this is a pre-workout that we look at and be like, yeah, some things aren't super perfect, but still overall well done. But what really matters, did it work? Let's look at what our reviewer said. So this was used by one of our reviewers. He actually described this pre-workout as one way as fun. He actually really enjoyed his experience with this pre-workout. Overall, there was not too much. He said he could nitpick on the profile if he wanted to, but he still enjoyed his experience with it, gave him energy, gave him his pumps, and increased his focus. So overall, he did have a good experience. It wasn't the most mind-blowing pre-workout he had ever had. However, he did enjoy his run with it, and he would recommend it to his friends as well. Of course, would he have had a better experience where some of the ingredients changed? Probably, maybe slightly, like to some degree, but certainly not to the point where he'd be like, oh, that would totally wasn't worth taking. So overall, good pre-workout, good energy, not over the top, cracked out energy, solid pumps, and just good experience overall. Let's move on to taste. As for taste, he had the grape cotton candy. That's like the only flavor I know about. I believe they have another one, maybe two other ones, but he had the grape cotton candy. And the best way he described it was a tart, like grape big league chew. That was his best comparison for it. I've never had that. That's how he described it, and to me it sounds pretty delicious, because who doesn't love big league chew? While it wasn't the most epically flavored pre-workout he had ever had, he gave it about an 8 out of 10. It's still enjoyable, and you shouldn't have any issues downing it. And now we get to the mixability. As you see, he poured it in a shaker. You probably don't recognize those hands. I didn't either. This is his first video. But with that said, it mixed very well. There was very little to complain about. Of course, it wasn't as clear as water. If you can make a pre-workout as clear as water, with no bubbles, and it tasted great, then you know what? Then you have a 10 out of 10. Either way, it mixed great. Nothing to complain about, no graininess, and yeah, short and simple and sweet, mixed well. Let's move on to value. Okay, so as for value, you can get this for about $37, I believe, $38 or $40, somewhere around there. So it's about $1 to $2, maybe a little less than that per serving. Depending on how many scoops you use, $1 per scoop is an easy way to put it. And that's on par with many pre-workouts these days, especially the well-dosed ones, efficaciously dosed ones. And with a lot of ingredients in here being well-dosed, it is, it's a very fair value, especially for what you're getting. And really, it's actually cheaper than a lot of the top-ranked pre-workouts that we've had. However, you can use it and still have a good experience. Not every pre-workout needs to be a super massively loaded formula. Sometimes you just need the well-proven ones and solid doses to get you through your workout. And yeah, overall, it's dosed well, and it is at a fair value. So overall, Iron Brothers Ruthless delivers on what it promises. It gives you good energy, solid pumps, gives you good tasting pre-workout, good mixability at a very fair value. While not the most, impressive profile, some ingredients could be better, and some ingredients could be even higher. A lot of that, I don't want to really say nitpicking, but it could be seen as such to some. Either way, it's gonna get the job done, and it's very straightforward. It delivers on energy, focus, pumps, endurance, what you really want out of a pre-workout, and it has a great taste to boot. So be sure to check out the written review on our website. Perhaps there is a Facebook, and